Welcome everyone to this discussion about the paper Journalism and Mass Communication. We are in the third unit, History of Indian Journalism. And today we are going to discuss about the basic concepts of the Second Press Council of India. In the previous lectures, we discussed about the First Press Commission and we discussed about the First Press Council. We also discussed about the basic difference between a press commission and a press council, which I would like you to recall before attending this class. And in the previous classes, we also discussed about the basic functions of a press council. While discussing the first press council of India, we discussed about all those aspects of a council, the responsibilities, the powers and restrictions of a press council in India. And the first press council expired on July 4th, 1969. And as the President of India has the power to extend it, the President of India extended it to March 31st, 1970. And later on, the duration of the tenure of the press council was once again extended up to September 30th, 1970. So for the second time, it was extended by the parliament. So the first time it was extended by the president, and then the parliament extended the tenure of the first press council for a few more months. So once the tenure of the first press council was over, and there was a bill passed for the second press council. So what is this bill? So under the Amendment Press Council Act 1970, the Second Press Council of India came into existence on October 1st, 1970. So under the Amended Press Council Act of 1970, the Second Press Council was established in India. It has the chairman as its head, and there are 26 members excluding the chairman. Here we want to note it that in the first press council there were 25 members, and here one number was increased as far as the members of the second press council was concerned. And then we also have to look at this aspect. In the second press council, there is a fixed number for the working journalists and editors in the membership. So in the previous slide, we discussed that there were 26 members in the second press council, and who all can be the members of this press council. So the press council has its own regulations. Number one, there can be 7 working journalists. So who are all in the field of journalism. There can be seven seats are allotted in the 26 membership of the second press council, and these 7 members were excluding other than editors. So the editors were not included in this first number 7, and then 6 editors. So in the discussion about journalism, we discussed the importance of editor in a particular newspaper or in a particular news agency. So editors have the utmost responsibility in the selection, in the processing and the publication of news in the newspaper. So utmost responsibility as far as the job or as journalist in a newspaper is concerned. So there can be 6 editors uh, from many news agencies in India, and the other those memberships were filled by the people who are experts in the field of law, education, literature, etc. And there are a few other fields, but these 3 fields are given importance in the press council in all the three press councils that we are going to discuss, because these fields are very closely related with journalism: the field of law, the field of education, and more often the field of literature is very close with journalism. And the second press council one of its important amendment is it brought the news agencies within the scope of the council's functions. So the news agencies that are all working in India are brought under the purview of the second press council, and they are brought under the condition of the second press council's functions. Okay. So now, according to regarding its tenure, in the beginning it was fixed till September 30, 1973. But later on, as we have discussed regarding the first press council, here its tenure was extended up to June 30th, 1974. And for the first time, it was extended by the president. And then, once again, for the second time, the tenure was extended by the president for 6 months. That is till October 31st, 1934. Sorry, December 31st, 1934. And later on, when the time was near December 1974, there was a bill passed in the parliament, and through this bill, the tenure of the second press council was extended till December 31st, 1975. And most importantly, it is during this historic time in the post independent India, the nation faced emergency, and the emergency was implemented in June 1975. um, we would have elaborate discussion about emergency and its implications on journalism, but today let us have a glimpse of those actions that happened during the time of emergency. So emergency, when emergency was declared in India, the freedom of press, it was curtailed, it was restricted, and censorship was implemented, and there was lots of restrictions on the freedom of press in India when emergency was implemented in the name of security for the nation. So they said that it was not good for the security of the nation, and they curbed the power of press and journalism in India. And in one of its steps, the government during that time, it abolished the second press council. So on December 8th, 1975, the president abolished the press council with effect from January 10, 1976. So here, for after 2 years, there was no press council in India, and after the ending of emergency, we had the third press commission. So today in this lecture, we just discussed about the basic aspects of the second press council, and in the next classes we would discuss about the functions of the second press council and the implications or the effects of emergency in the field of journalism in India. Thank you.